Today we have a two-parter for you, actually a three-parter if you count us talking to you right now. But we are going to do a little bit of a technical deep dive under the back couch about taking out the cradle point router that came with the van and putting in my own internet setup and everything that's involved in getting that hooked up. And we will also talk about our squeaky bed.
Sofa. Well, sofa and bed.
Sofa
it's the same
bed.
Thing.
Our squeaky sofa bed.
There you go.
You're going to want to stick around for that because it's fun. I promise. It is a beautiful, gray, rainy day here at home, and I figured that'd be a great time to do a little work on the new van. Today, I'm going to tackle some of the electronics that make up the internet part and the TV, and we're going to start here in the back. This is after we've done a tiny bit of work on it. Coiled these seat belts back up. Those will be replaced. Taken out the direct TV that was left in it. We're not going to use that. The direct TV went in right here. There's a Apple TV, I'm guessing first generation, that goes here. And then over there is a cradle point router that I have taken out. I've reset it. It does fire up just fine, but we're not going to use it. For one thing, it only does LTE. We want at least 5G. Through this process, I've discovered a couple of infrared, I'm guessing, signal repeaters that were on the Apple TV. They're also on the direct TV. I'm not sure where the other end is or where the booster is that goes with it. So I think what's going to happen here is I'm going to take this back piece off and find out where they go. But also, I know that this cradle point has a 12-volt power going into it, which I want to use for my internet setup. The fuse for that is over here, so I may find out where that end is and wire in the USB connections I need for my internet setup. There is a button up front that you push for internet that turns on this 12-volt to the fuse there. So I want to pull this off, find out what's going on underneath there, and also what this plug is, because it just runs up under the couch somewhere. So we have to take out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 9, 10, 11, 12 screws to get to that. And I may have to take the front off too and come in from that way. But let's just find out. Start in the middle. There is not a screw in that screw hole. There will be when it goes back together. All right, so I'm coming in this way. The seat belts have to come out. You know what? They were coming out anyway. I'm going to try taking these snap holders off first and see if we can get that to come loose of that. That will be a lot easier if we can. Nope. All right, what's holding you? Just don't want to break anything. All right, there's something else in there holding those, so I guess we'll try from the front. Let's go inside and see. When we bought the van, we had the brilliant idea that we would be able to rearrange things under the couch and make some pass-through storage there.
Right, because there's just that little section where all those electronics are sitting. You take all that out, open that up, and have all that storage under there, you know, for like things.
Kayaks and grandkids.
E-bikes.
Right? Yeah. It didn't turn out quite like that.
Yeah, it was a little disappointing.
It's pretty crowded under there. So we will attempt under here to pull the screws off that panel and see if we can get to it that way.
It's also a mess under there. Did you see what a mess that is?
I did.
Are you going to straighten up those cables?
Not today.
Oh, okay.
If we ever make the move to lithium, I will probably tidy that up because we'll need to put a new inverter in it anyway. So that couch will come up, those wires will be organized, and as you saw, or as you will see, there's a lot of coiled wiring under there that doesn't need to be under there. So I'm thinking we could just, even if we only got half of that space back, having a half pass through would be better than what we have there. Okay, that pulled off so much easier than the back was going. So under here, a lot of electrical stuff, some heat tubing. This is going to be part of the splitter for the HDMI, I'm assuming. Wow, that's a lot. Automatic transfer switch. And looks like we can get to the back of that panel and find out what's going on. So I may take that off and see if we can feed that back through a little bit. I'll also run a vacuum in here while I'm in here, but that's a little messy. Good thing is I don't see any mouse poops. All right, managed to get the power box out of that wood, which will make it easier to get under here. Power is off, by the way. You can see the inverter right in there. Back of those fuse panels is right there. Everything here is held up quite nicely. One thing that I found amusing was it has two HDMI controllers in it. One was for the Apple, one was for the DirecTV, but they're different plugs. They're different boxes as far as I can tell. Why put two different kinds in the same build?
Boy, I don't know.
I don't know. So we're only using one of them right now, and that's to run the Roku. There is one of the HDMI boxes. There's another one on the other side up there. We just gotta kind of see where everything goes once it comes out and gets tied up there. This is one of the repeaters for the infrared remote. Gotta track that down. All right, I'll let you know where everything goes. It is 2 days later, and I'm finally back to working on the van. Middle of April, and a couple days ago we had a winter storm come through. Temperatures dropped to below freezing, and we got about 8 inches of snow. Today is the 20th. It's melting off. Time to get back and put the internet together so we can get the van together so Cindy can start putting some things away in it. So let me recap where we are, show you what I've discovered, what I've learned. Then we'll go take another look under the couch. We're back in the electronics bin. Got to secure that power down. This is the bracket that the cradle point was in. I'm not using the cradle point. I'm going to use my own combination setup of a GL iNet 750S and a Netgear modem. Also a hotspot from T-Mobile and Visible. This plug runs this HDMI, and this plug powers this HDMI. This was where the Apple TV was. Not going to use Apple TV, going to use Roku because that's what we use at home. We're just more familiar with it. These lines were, I'm guessing, extenders to control the Apple TV. These were for the DirecTV. Wherever they hook up on the other end, they don't work. So they're going to go away. The Roku will not, the signal won't reach with it back here. So it's going to be tucked up closer to the front under the couch. So I'm going to pull the HDMI back through and run some power back to that because it runs on just a USB. So my setup is very portable. The GL iNet router just needs a USB plug, and so does the Netgear. Did I say Nighthawk? The Netgear MR6500. So we're going to drill another hole in here. I'm going to use the power that went to the cradle point. We're just going to cut that, splice in this line, and we'll be able to power the router, the MR6500, and the cell phone for the hotspot off of this, and that will connect to the plug up front that says internet. I still need to trace this coax cable down because that is going to run up to where the current DirecTV dish is, but this will need to be replaced with a Cat6 cable in order to run the Starlink once we get that hooked up and going. So it will be powered by the satellite switch that's on the panel inside. So I can either have this stuff going and run off of that, or off of internet, or satellite will be, of course, the satellite dish up top. Future install. All right, let's get that hole drilled. Have to go on the other side and find a good spot here to drill it. And of course, I just vacuumed this out and I realized, well, it's probably going to be full of sawdust again, but oh well. Let's go see what's happening on the other side. This is the current state of things in the van. I haven't let Cindy come out to see what I'm doing here because it's all torn apart. Okay, let's dive under. Ready? Me neither. I didn't point it out before. I'm going to point it out now. There is just a mess. A bunch of wire coiled up under here. There's got to be, I'm guessing, 10, 15 feet of just coiled wire under here. It's crazy. All right, I'm going to get upside down in here and find out where that coax cable goes. There's not room for both of us, so I'll just explain after. That box is loose because this tab is broken. It should be like that tab on top over there that's holding it in, but it's just broken. So I think I have more of those out in our barn. I will go check that out. I did get the power box under there secured again. Both tabs ended up breaking off. I did have another box that I pulled those tabs off of, and now that electrical box is quite secure. For the USB plugs that I'm using, I've drilled a 7/8 inch hole right there. I'm going to, on the other side, put this ring to hold it on this wire, and then feed it back through, wow, on this wire, which remember is the cradle point plug that we're not going to use. Since I'm not going to use it, it's really, really old technology, comparatively speaking. I'm just going to donate it, hold it for parts, but not reuse this power cord, not replace that power cord, but splice into it. On the other end, that will go on there. That will feed in, that will feed in through there. We'll splice the wire and put it all back together. Easy peasy. For the USB plug, it does matter positive and negative. So I've got my voltmeter, and we will see which of these wires is hot, which is ground. Otherwise, no power. I'd say pro tip, but I'm not a pro. When you're putting the ends on and you're using these plugs, don't use the same plug on each wire, because now I won't ever have to figure out again which is which, because it'll only plug in one way to that. Should I ever have to take it apart again? All right, let's install this bad boy. This part is mostly cleaned up. Still have the relays. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with those. This HDMI we're not going to use for now, so tuck that away when we finish cleaning it up. I've got a splitter here with my GLI net 750, and it's tethered to my phone. I'll do the DirecTV later. I'm going to figure out how to kind of mount these things so that they can be removed when we're not using it. We may as well just have that all on one panel side. As I mentioned, I had big plans to put Starlink on top. So those plans kind of got changed. I didn't have to run that cable through. In an upcoming video, you'll find out what we did do.
You should subscribe.
And hit the notification
bell so that when those videos come out, you'll know right away and find out what did Dee do this time.
Still a little bit of a mess, but getting better. At least this is all back together. I did put the Roku controller over here. Tucks in quite nicely, sits there, and will disappear pretty much when that comes down. So let's start cleaning the rest of this up.
Dee ran in to get something so that we can work on this video. And I wanted to ask a question. I want to know from you guys, what do you think about this view right here? Okay. When we watch YouTube videos of people in a van and it's all perfectly dark, they've got it all blacked out in the back and you can't see in their van, it kind of bothers me a little bit. I want to look at the details. What do you think? Would you rather not, like if we're driving down the road talking to you, or if we're just sitting in our van talking to you, would you rather be able to see back there and see what's going on? Now, I realize right now there's not a lot going on, but Dee's back.
So there it is, sort of installed. Little more cable management to do and maybe attach those, but you can see with the red band on it there, that's the GL iNet router. That is my Netgear MR6500 unlocked, so I can use whatever hotspot SIM I want in there. And then it's tethered to a T-Mobile business plan on the phone as a backup. So if I'm not getting AT&T or Verizon, whatever I have in the MR6500, it will fail over to this, or I can run them both to be 50-50, or this to be the primary and the MR6500 to be the backup. I may plumb the Starlink into this and have a third line for redundancy there. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out, and I think it's going to be a little more useful for me than the PepWave. So drop a comment down below, tell me if you think I'm nuts, or tell me if you think something like this might work for you, or let me know what your internet solution for the road is. So back to the internet.
Okay.
I have my Netgear router that goes into my GL iNet router. When we're home, that Netgear router goes and hooks into the home internet. And it is our primary internet here, and I have the 10 gig plan Starlink as a backup. So on the rare occasion that MR6500 goes out, we switch automatically over to Starlink, and we're only out of internet for a couple minutes, which is an eternity, as it makes the switch over. So here in the van, we will have that same thing where it's not bonded, you're not doubling the speed, you're not putting everything together, but they share that connection. So if I lose T-Mobile, my visible plan will kick that over, or we will have the Starlink. More coming up on that.
Drop a comment if you have any idea what he's talking about, because I'm just like thinking about the baseball game later, because I have no clue. I am just so glad that we have internet and he makes it work. And when it's not working, he fixes it and gets it working again. You know, because for me, I'm just like, don't build me a clock. Just tell me what time it is. I'd like to know, am I the only one? Am I the only one that doesn't understand all this stuff? Do we need a new inverter?
We might. May as well go lithium if we're going to do that.
Yeah, might as well just get a Gretsch.
It's about the same cost. Yeah, I tell it enable. It switches, and about 3 seconds later,
It was doing that one
back.
day though when I was in here and you kept having me push the button or whatever. It kept saying that same thing.
How
I
did
thought
we
you
fix
figured
it?
that out.
No, evidently I didn't. Because it just goes right back to disabled. And I don't know why.
Google it.
Google says get your inverter serviced so far.
Really?
Yeah. So the first thing we did for the bed was fix the squeak, because it had been sitting in the Phoenix sun for a long time. Well, the entire van had, not just the bed. So we had to take care of that squeak. Now that we have the camera set up, we have our makeup did, I thought it would be a really good time to talk about our favorite lube. And that is the Nolox Premium
warned me about
RV
that.
lubricant that we just got in the mail, and we're so excited to try it out because we've got some squeaks in the van that need taken care of.
I'm gonna cry my makeup off.
No?
Okay. We're good.
One thing we really need to tackle soon is this. When you lay the sofa down, a little bit squeaky. So I'm gonna go see what all I can lube up back there. I have my No Locks premium RV lubricant, not just for Airstreams. We'll hit the most likely culprits, and that's going to be areas such as this, and where we're hinging, drivetrain. All right, let's go see. Okay, and here's the after. This wouldn't even lift up on its own before. A little squeak. That'll work out. That's nice. I like it.
Oh,
Yeah, it's all good now. It's quiet. It's super quiet.
cool. And goes faster.
It does.
Yeah. So how much time do we have until our first trip?
2 weeks.
2 weeks and a few
4
days.
days. Yeah.
So what are you
We gotta
trying to
get
have
busy.
done in here before that?
Well, I would like to have the bed situation squared away.
If you've watched any vanners, a lot of people have what's called a disco duvet system, and so can you see that green pad back there? That's a foam pad about that thick that we bought. It rolls up, has straps and everything. We're not sure when we travel if we're going to keep the beds set up or if we're going to bring the sofa up every day. We don't know how it's going to work, but we do know that we need bedding for this pad. And so I've decided that I'm going to make it. So what I'm going to do, I've ordered a couple sets of sheets and I'm going to modify them. This pad has like a grippy bottom on it so that it doesn't slide around. And so I was thinking about making like basically a big pillowcase to put it in, but that's not going to work because then the grippy pad is pointless. So I'm going to take a fitted sheet and I'm going to modify the fitted sheet to be a fitted sheet to fit this.
Say fit again.
Fit again.
Good job.
But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew, have you heard of Betty's?
I have.
I'm going to sew the top sheet to the bottom part, to the bottom of the fitted sheet so that it's all one thing, okay? So that when we wash the sheets, we just take it all off, wash it, and then you don't be losing your sheet and stuff because it's not going to be as easy to keep things tucked in with this. And then I've ordered minky fabric to make blankets. I'm still deciding if that's going to be attached or not. And then I have a king size blanket that we've used in the house. I'm going to cut that down and make blankets. How much time do we have before our first trip?
2.5 weeks.
I got to get busy.
Yeah, you do.
Well, the sheets have to arrive first. I ordered them. So that's the
And-
plan. We can, I can try to make a video of doing
I
that.
think you should.
Yeah.
Speaking of gone, we've got to get gone because I've got like 2 hours to put this video together.
All right.
And it's
Good
tough
luck.
to do a 2-hour video in 2 hours.
Good luck.
Appreciate
Yeah,
you.
for sure.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys. And we'll see you in the next video.
Bye.
Oh, low battery. That's no fun. I'm going to turn you around. I'm going to turn you around, though. Bear with. Oh, technical difficulties. Fight. Obviously. Do you want me to start it up and have the AC on?
Kinda. It's hot. I'm getting really uncomfortable.
Should I jingle my keys the whole time?
Yes, that would be annoying. So once again, I'll just follow your lead
And
and
be comic
interject
relief?
aimlessly.
All right, that works. So as I mentioned in the first part, I tear apart That's too many parts. In one of these parts, I tear apart the... I did
the
it
same
again.
amount of parts.
It's going to have to be okay. In one of those parts, I disassemble parts. So I don't know what else to say about anything other than we do that.
Ready, go.
I did.
Oh, you already did it. Okay.
Yeah. You need...
Oh, messed it all up. My earring fell out. That was weird.
Greta will get it.
Thanks, Greta.
Yeah, we may as well just gut it.
Okay. Then
Gut
we
it
can
and
put in
custom
wood
build.
ceilings.
Yeah. I guess our next fan's going to be a custom build. Huh?
Yeah, right. I think this is our next van.
Currently,
What do you mean by that? So you've all...
Your earring just doesn't want to stay in.
I just keep popping earrings off. What the heck? I heard it as soon as I said it. You can edit that.
Why would I do that? Okay.
Because we're going from a 12-minute video to a 47-minute video
Right.
that nobody's going to watch.
Jimmy says hi.
Oh,
Oops.
Jim. This is just not a good
He's a little
situation
awkward.
for him. It's uncomfortable.
There's Jim. Buddy, how you doing?